happy Thursday. I'm getting a little bit of a later go this week with the podcast. I had jury duty this morning and we were out all day yesterday, but I didn't get chosen for jury duty, so I am able to podcast today and catch you guys up on all my finished objects and whips. And again, I have a ton of acquisitions. I normally do not, and I know I've said that, and I just don't think you guys are going to believe me because I just all of a sudden have all these acquisitions. But grab something warm to drink or cool to drink, probably cool to drink because it's summertime. I'm actually going hot coffee this time, which I normally don't do. But 2 weekends ago, we went on a hike with some friends of ours, and afterwards they treated us to a Puerto Rican dinner. So good. And we had coffee because we wanted to sit there and chat, but felt bad taking up the table, so we all got coffee. And but anyways, so I've been trying to replicate this Puerto Rican coffee. I feel like it's close enough. It's pretty good. Like sometimes I'm just kind of in the mood for it, and it's a warm, nice day out, but still just thought I would do a hot coffee. So go grab your beverage of choice, and I'll meet you guys right back here in just a minute. Welcome, you guys. Got a pup here with me today. This is Maggie. My name is Laura, and I am the maker and creator of Back Porch Fiber Co. Hold on, I'm gonna go take care of this. Okay, sorry about that interruption. Let's start again. My name is Laura, and I am the maker and designer of Back Porch Fiber Co. And you can find me on Instagram at Back Porch Fiber Co. You can find me on Etsy as Back Porch Fiber Co., where I sell handmade stitch markers and progress keepers. And I also have some notions in there that are part of my favorite notions, what I love to use, what I find handy. Things are always changing in there, so if you haven't taken a peek in a while, go on over to my Etsy shop, Back Porch Fiber Co., and take a look. We are going to be having some new products hitting the shop, and I'm hoping to introduce those to you on the next podcast. I'm pretty excited about them. Been working hard, as a small business owner. Like, it is just me. That is it. So I'm packaging orders, I'm creating products, I'm podcasting, I'm editing, I'm uploading, I'm taking all the photos, and there's just so much to do. I'm doing all the social media, everything, and it's all fun, but there's so many aspects that just take so much time to learn. So this new product that I have come out with is I'm using transfers and heat presses and everything, and I've never done that stuff before, but I'm so excited about these up and coming products that I'm just powering through and figuring it all out for you guys, because I think it's just gonna be so epic. It's so fun. I've just been really enjoying working on that, and I do have a friend who's been helping me through the process since I am such a newbie. But yeah, so that just to say that things just take time, when you're a small business owner and you're learning new things. And while it's fun to stick with what it's also really fun to expand and see what kind of products and fun things I can offer you guys. So with that said, check me out. If you at any time are enjoying this podcast, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. It really does help me out. If you're not subscribed to me on Instagram, head on over there and follow me over there as well, because I do give a lot more up-to-date, day-to-day musings and updates on my projects and all of that kind of stuff too. So if you're willing to do any of those things really, really do help out small business owners. Okay, let's jump in. I have 2 finished objects to show you. The first one is, I think I showed this, I showed this on my last podcast. I have like this hair right here, I don't know, it's bugging me. So my apologies if I keep fiddling. Okay, so back to it. So I showed this on my last podcast, but I needed to change it. So this is my swim cover up. And this is the Fuzzy Fuzzy. It's by Park and Knit. I'll put all the info down below. But this was a sweater. Oh, it smells good. I used the I think it's the Eucalyptus Jasmine wool wash. It smells so good. I just got a whiff as I lifted it up. Okay, so anyways, I showed this last time and I had not done the stretchy 3-needle bind off or the stretchy bind off here on the neck. And so there was so much stretch in the bottom of it, but the top was just very rigid. I think it was like, it came to about here. And it didn't feel right. So I took it out. I really wasn't that motivated to take it out. And then one day, where was I? Oh, you know what? We went on a yarn crawl with our friends. And when I got back from that, I was just so motivated because I had bought some yarn to cast on another project. And I just wanted to cast on another project, but I didn't let myself until I finished this. So that was my motivation, but I love it. I'm using it as a swimsuit cover up. So how I modified the pattern was I used a cotton linen yarn instead. It's actually used for weaving, I guess. But it has softened up really nicely. It has a great drape to it. It's a size 10 Chowgu needles, which is what the pattern calls for. But the modifications that I made were, I made it a lot longer. I did a split hem. And I did that because since it's a swimsuit cover up and it's longer, it's going to hit me on my thighs, which is about the widest part of my body. And so I didn't want it to be tight there. So I figured if I just did a split hem, I wouldn't have to make any alterations in the sizing of the garment. And then I didn't do any, I didn't do the sleeves, but I also did not do I think it called for an I-cord edging around the neckline. And because it's such a casual, fun item that I'm just going to be putting on over a swimsuit, I just didn't feel it was necessary. And I really liked the way that it looked. So I'm extremely happy with how this turned out. It's exactly what I was thinking it would be. I may make another one. I'm not so sure, but the pattern calls for, you're holding, I think mohair double and like even triple in one spot. I can't remember exactly, but I just didn't think that mohair would be very good feeling. Like I just didn't feel like it would work for a swimsuit cover up because once it gets wet, to me it's just gonna like stick to my skin. So that's why I did this yarn instead. And because of the nature of this yarn, it's a weaving yarn, like it doesn't really have like a brand name or a color, or I think the color is Dune, but like as far as a brand goes, I just don't know how all that works. It came on a cone. I don't know, but I'm really, really excited about this pattern. So like I said, the modifications, fuzz pop, pop fuzzy, fuzzy pop, I don't know. But the modifications were no sleeves, a linen cotton yarn, knit it longer than the pattern called for, and then I did a split hem. So those were my modifications if you want to make one too. I love this. Okay, the next one, I'm gonna have to insert a clip because it's such a large project, but I am finally done with my prayer blanket for my daughter. I'll show you guys a little bit of it here. So let me tell you about this project now that it's done. I would 100% make another one. I really like the process of it. I probably would not rush through it like I did this one. I do feel like this one here I rushed through because I was giving it as a gift. I think like a baby blanket size would be so enjoyable to knit with this. I really think that that would be so fun. A note about the pattern. So I used the free version of the pattern. It's on her blog. It's Nautikrall Crochet. And I used all of her yarn recommendations. I bought exactly what she said. But what I found out is all the contrast colors, like all the hexagon colors, I actually had quite a bit of yarn left over, like essentially maybe even a full skein. And I wouldn't recommend not getting what she recommends for that because, you know, I mean, having extra yarn is great. And if you, maybe I'm a little bit tighter crocheter, you know, than you are. And so I wouldn't want to put you in a bind suggesting not getting all of that. But the thing that really took me off guard is I probably could have used another 2 of the, this like main color, like the joining color and the border color. I actually was working on these little pom-poms, and let me tell you, these pom-poms took me a really, really long time. And I don't know if that's just because I'm not proficient at crocheting or what, but I got about halfway through, maybe not even quite halfway through these pom-poms, and discovered that I did not have enough yarn. So I actually took out all the pom-poms that I had done. So I got on Knit Picks because this is Wool of the Andes, and I looked for this color and they were completely out, not due back until sometime in June. And so I didn't want to wait, didn't really want to pay for more yarn and shipping on that yarn. And so what I did is I took out an entire row of the single crochet. So I took out all the pom-poms that I had already done, which was so painful. I took out an entire row of single crochet and just omitted that the middle single crochet round that is in her pattern, and then just started in on the pom-poms from there. And it looks great like that. I'm not disappointed with how it looks, just more that I wasted all that time and that the pattern wasn't right. So I would definitely get at least one more of this joining color, if not 2, because even when I made it all the way around, I was coming down to the wire. I had just this little tiny bit left, and I was like measuring and weighing and making sure that I was going to have enough yarn. I was stressing. So, you know, I don't feel like, I mean, it could definitely be my issue with my gauge, but that's quite a bit to be off. And considering I had an abundance of all the other ones, I'm not thinking that's the case. So I think the pattern calls for 11 of this Oyster Heather color, but I would go at least 12, if not 13, to play it safe, especially if you are a looser crocheter. But with that said, so that's just kind of the negative, the frustrations with it. Was it worth it? Absolutely, I love it. And now I know for next time. The tutorials that Nautikrall Crochet gives on this blanket are fantastic. I really, really liked, like, even for the hexagons, for this method of crochet as you go, this was a new to me method, and I loved it. I loved how she was so explanatory in her, in the tutorial. She was giving you the tools to think about why you're doing what you're doing and what should come next, so that you don't have to continually during the whole blanket refer back to the tutorial, because there are different steps as you come to, you know, peaks and valleys, as she calls them. But yeah, so the way that she presents it and teaches it is in a way that you yourself can ask the question and figure it out, kind of thing. So I do highly recommend the pattern. She has a free version on her blog, on her website, and then she also does have a paid for pattern, I think on Ravelry and Etsy, I'm not sure. But yeah, I do love it. I'm super excited to give it to her. This will also launch the prayer project, and that is almost done. I have a set of cards all ready to go for that. So it's been this and the prayer project stuff as well. So whew, that is my finished objects. I feel like I just blurted all of that out to you guys, but I need a coffee break. The Puerto Rican coffee is like a very dark roast. It's like an espresso. And I love like stronger coffee. So for me, it works great. I love it. All right, moving right along. Let's jump into some whips. Let's see. I don't even know where to start because I don't really know what... I don't think I had many of these projects on my needles the last time we chatted. I think I did have these socks on. Okay, so who's doing summer sock camp? I'm totally doing it this year. I don't really think I've fully joined in before. So I'm super excited to join in this year. And this, I have 4 different projects, and I'll talk about all of the 4 projects because not all of them are whips. But I have 4 different sock projects that I'm going to attempt to get done this summer. If I do, great. If I don't, great. I don't care. It's like, to me, sock knitting is just more casual. And really all my knitting should be, but there's just some projects where I'm just like, oh, I can't wait for it to be done. I can't wait. I can't wait. And socks are not like that for me. So, okay. So this is the mountain, my goodness. Here we go. Mountain sock pattern. And I think last time I showed it, I had to pop up a picture because it's just a really hard pattern to see, but it's like a seersucker pattern and it's just all knits and purls. But I'm really enjoying this pattern. It's not one that should be car knitting really, because you have an 8-row repeat and you have to be able to read your knitting. And so like if you're picking it up for a quick couple minutes to knit on while you're waiting, in line for something or picking up a kiddo or whatever, it's not really great for that. But it is a fun knit. So I kind of just try to work on this in the mornings, try to get like a full 8 rows done, which is really 16 rows because I'm knitting these 2 at a time. If you ever wonder like what 2 at a time knitting is basically like you're working a cuff, working another cuff, then you put them together on a long, like 32 or 40 inch circular needle, and you have 2 separate balls of yarn. And that's one thing I didn't quite understand when I first started looking into the knitting 2 at a time. It just did not click in my brain how that was possible, because of course you'd have to go back and forth between the socks, but you have 2 different balls of yarn that you are pulling from, so the socks are not actually connected. You knit across one needle and then drop the yarn, pick up the yarn for the other sock and knit across the other. So when I say 8, or the 8 rows, 1 full repeat, that's times 2 essentially. What I like about this is that it's a little bit, there's less needle fiddling time, right? Because you're knitting across, drop, knit across, and then you switch your needle around for like that magic loop knitting. So in that aspect, it goes a little bit faster, but sometimes it can also be fiddly because your yarn tangles up, but not too often. If you kind of like do the whole like back and forth when you're turning it, it works a little bit better. But anyways, I'm liking this because also when you do 2 at a time, I'm not counting my rows or anything like that. It's just kind of whatever looks nice to me. But I don't need to mimic it for the second sock because I'm doing them together at the very same time. So that's what that looks like. Mountain sock by Rachel Nutting, and I think it's Rachel Nutting Knits, I think is her Instagram handle. And look at these cute little progress keepers. I sell these guys in my shop. Got to put a plug in. Go check it out, you guys. I love these teardrop markers. I love them. They're so fun. All right, so that, I'm always using ChowGoo needles. These are a size 1 ChowGoo, 40-inch circular. And actually for Magic Loop, or for 2 at a time and Magic Loop, I kind of prefer 32-inch, but this is just what I had available to me, so that's what I used. That's it. Okay, so that is summer sock camp knitting and a whip. Okay, so the next one is, I'm gonna do the same. I have 3 projects in this basket. It's a little bit ridiculous. Let me get to, guys, look at, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Look at my bag. Acquisition, this little bag, oh my gosh. Okay, so I found this yarn in my stash that my friend Annie from Knits and Burls got me. Okay, look at how that matches. Like, how is that even possible that it matches that well? These are amazing colors together. I don't even get it. Like, that's just crazy. But these, it's a DK self-striping yarn. It is the yarn jar. It's in their cozy DK. So it's 75 superwash merino, 25 nylon. It is 100 grams, 245 yards. And it's called September Honey. Okay, so this is how far. I started these yesterday when I was getting my hair done, and that's the only time that I worked on it, but that's where they're at. I cast on 40 stitches because I have another pair of DK that is 44, and they're just a little bit loose on my foot, and I like my socks to be just a little bit tighter. But these are going so fast, so fast. And I feel like I'm a little bit nervous because I don't know DK socks well enough to know if this one ball is going to get me a pair or if I need to do like maybe a contrast color for the heel. I'm just not too sure yet. I don't know, but I love these. They're so fun and they're so quick to knit. Okay, in my mind, like this would be an amazing sweater. If I had like 100 grams each of this or 50 grams each of this, I would totally do a sweater. Isn't that cool? I love this. Love it. So this is just a DK vanilla sock recipe. I'm using Kay Litton's from the Crazy Sock Lady, her DK pattern, just because I thought how appropriate for summer sock camp in her bag to use her pattern. And those are, I'm using a size US3 ChowGoo 9-inch circular needles. So that's my second whip and second summer camp project. Okay, let's see, this one here, I do not think that I had this one cast on. I think I had talked about it. This is the Purple Coke tee. Let's see, where are we at here? Okay, this is, it goes like this. So this is where I'm at with it. I'll put all the yarn information below, but it is the ITO yarn, and I don't have my ball bands here with me, but it is the silk and the mohair. So this one typically comes on a cone. You'll see it, and it has like little flecks of yellows and like darker reds in there. But these stripes are made by you drop the thicker yarn and then just knit with the mohair, and that's how these stripes are made. Isn't that amazing? I love it, like when you pair a mohair with another color and it just transforms the yarn. Like, look at that. Isn't that so cool? Like that's the original color. but then look at the color that it's turning out to be with the mohair. Oh, it's just so soft. And this is a dream to knit on. I love knitting on this. It is so, like, everything about this project just works. The yarn with my hands, it has a little bit of like potato chip feel knitting, because it's like, oh, I'm gonna just get to the next stripe, next stripe, next stripe. It was top-down raglan increases. I'm not quite sure what to do next for the sleeves and the neckline, but we'll figure that out when we come to it. I am a little bit nervous that I'm not going to have enough of this yarn here. I only have 15 grams left, and I have the, like, I think I go for like 12 inches. So I think I have like another 8 inches to knit, and I'm just not thinking I'm gonna make it. I have 2 of these. So I do have another one of these guys here. But like this was the yarn recommendation that I got for this size and everything. I don't know. So, okay. I'm not doing everything to pattern, because accidentally, somehow, I don't even know. And I don't think it was mid knitting, because it all looks uniform. But somehow throughout the process of knitting, I had a size 4 needle on my right hand side and a size 3 needle on my left hand side. I think it calls for like a 2.5, and I didn't have the 2.5, so I was just gonna do a 3. Just go up a little bit. I figured it would be a little bit bigger, not a big deal. And no, I did not swatch. I'm so bad at swatching, you guys. So I'm like, I'll just do a 3, no biggie. Well, then I was starting my other project here, and I was looking for my size 4 needles, and I only had one size 4 needle in my ChowGoo interchangeable set. That's weird. Okay, so I just like start looking at all my projects, and that's when I discovered that one of the needles was a 4 and one was a 3. And so because the 4 was on the right hand needle, I figured that's probably about the size that it should be, or, you know, it was, and it was knitting up fine. And yeah, I really like the size of it and all. So I just took the 3 off and added the 4, and I needed the 3 for my other. So like I went up a needle size in this, but went down a needle size in the other one. So this is the purple coke. I absolutely love it. It is so soft, like just dreamy soft. I love it. It's like, it doesn't feel itchy to me or anything. I love it. Really excited about this. It's so fun to work on. So that's that. I may just go ahead and proactively buy another skein of this guy here, because I think it would be unfortunate to like get near the bottom, and I don't want to cut myself short, but it's not that, like, I think they're $10 or something. It's not that much. So anyways, so there's that one. Okay, then the next one in this basket is the Waithia. That's it, Waithia, by Jessica Cam Knits. I love this pattern. So I am working this up in Knitting for Olive soft blue. It's a merino cotton, 50 gram. It's 250 meters for 50 grams. This is the yarn. I love how this feels. It actually feels softer knit up than even in the cake. Okay, so here's my issue, is that it called for size 4 needles. I'm nowhere near gauge, but I went down a needle size, still kind of not fully at gauge, but I don't know, I'm a little bit nervous, like just keep going down. I like the pattern, or sorry, I like the drape of the yarn. Got a little bit mixed up in here. So I really like the drape of the yarn. So I don't necessarily want to go to a size 2, because then I think the yarn, it might not have that drape. And granted, I could try it out, but, and I may. So my game plan for this is to work the lace section, because it's bottom up. I'm going to work the lace section and then kind of like lay it out. So, you know, like put this, use another set of needles so that I can kind of fully stretch it out and see what what size it will be, but I feel like I'm on par for it to be very big. I'm not sure. So we will see, but I am loving this as well. I love the drape that the material is creating. I love the lace pattern. I love the color, the yarn, the merino cotton. I'm really hoping that all of this works out. If not, then I might just have to go down a size. I don't know. I'm willing to work with it, willing to give it a try. But my friend Annie and I, we cast this on together, and she's having the same issue. So I don't know if maybe Jessica McDonald's gauge is just very tight compared to ours. I don't know what the issue is there. But nonetheless, that's kind of what we're running into. But I'm definitely willing to work on it. So, all right. That is it for whips. So had to take a little break, and here comes my puppy again. She just knows, like, how does she know? She knows that I'm filming. Hi. Okay, so I had to take a little break because kids came home yesterday and like I couldn't ever get back to it because I was running out of sunlight as it was. So, all right, we're gonna take care of this. Hey. Hey. There we go. All right, she's fine right there. Okay, so welcome back. It is Friday, the next day. I could not finish my podcast yesterday because kids came home and my daughter and her boyfriend were making us dinner last night. And I don't know, it's just odd, you know, talking knitting when there's other people in the house like that. My assumption is that most people would feel that way, but anyway, so it is Friday afternoon. Other puppy is now coming. Come on, guys. I'm not so sure this is gonna work either, my goodness. Hi, Charlie. Could you please lay down? Lay down, come on. Come on, lay down. Lay down. She's like, no, not going to. She's out. Okay. So I had two more things to talk with you guys about. So I wanted to talk acquisitions and summer sock camp. So let's do summer sock camp because I feel like I chose to do some yarn that I had in stash rather than buying new yarn. And I've talked about that in past episodes that I'm really going to try to use up and kind of highlight some of my stash as I film. So, okay, dog free for the time being. You might be hearing them drink, I'm not so sure, but I just have a super short window of time, so we're just rolling with it. Okay. So summer sock camp, I've showed you guys 2 pairs of socks. I showed you the stripey ones, the DK stripey vanilla socks that I'm doing, and that's Kay Litton's pattern. I cast on 40 stitches, and then the mountain sock. So today I'm gonna show you guys another sock that I'm going to do. Okay, so these are, when I was choosing socks for summer sock camp, I was trying to choose socks with different elements, different yarns, different needles, just to kind of mix it up because there's a lot of things that I've been wanting to do. So this came out of a book. Again, I just like to copy my patterns on to paper so I can mark them up and not mark the book. So there's this pattern here. It is a shorty color work sock. And I know that it's recommended to do color work on 9-inch circulars. But it called for a 1.5, so I'm gonna actually use Magic Loop 1.5, one at a time. So I'm not gonna do the 2 at a time with the color work. And this is the yarn combination that I'm doing. I want to say that this may be an old Woolberry Advent colorway, like a full skein colorway. I think that's what this one here is, and I think it was like called Snow Globe or something like that. And then this for the gray. And you know, I was wondering because the color work is only done on the top of the sock. So I was trying to figure out like, how do you only get on the top? Well, you actually carry the yarn on the foot. So it's going to be a pretty squishy sock. And I think it said to catch your floats every 2 rounds or something like that, or every 2 to 3 stitches. Yeah, so it doesn't bunch. But I'm kind of excited to try these. And this is just yarn that I've had in my stash for a long time. So I'm really excited to use those. So that is a summer sock project. So the other day, I just kind of got all my patterns together, got all my yarn together, made little project bags for all of these, put the needles in, filled up a little tin or a little notions pouch, just depending on what I had, and made it just so that everything was ready and easy, and then it's just sitting in one big basket. So this is such a cute bag. Look at this. It says, "Knitters come with strings attached." My mother-in-law got me this bag. She's so sweet. I'm sure she found it at a craft fair because she loves craft fairs. Okay. And then I made this little bag here a long time ago, but this is, I want to say that these are going to be, I can't remember if I decided to do Hermione's everyday socks on these or just vanilla socks on these, but it's just a fingering weight skein of yarn that I had in stash, and I'm gonna do them on DPNs. It's that US size 1 ChowGoo DPNs, and I don't have a pattern in here, so it makes me think that I'm either gonna be doing Hermione's or a vanilla sock. It might be a vanilla sock. Since the other one is a color work, I may want to just do vanilla on this one, but look at that cute little bag. This is my little notions pouch for this. And I found this, I think, like maybe like in the dollar section at Target one day. I don't know. And then I have this super cute, I even put like progress keepers with each one. And I did this little progress keeper here. Hey, the little chicken. It's my backyard chickens. My friend Annie got this guy for me. So, but there we go. So those are my summer sock plans. I have 4 socks, hoping to get to them, but if I don't, it's okay. Okay, moving on to acquisitions. Let's go. So again, I feel like I just have so many acquisitions right now. That was not the intent when I started, but I think I explained a little bit ago that, or on the last podcast, that I was going to be doing a yarn crawl with some friends of mine. And we have a friend in our knit group that is moving to Tennessee. Yeah, to Tennessee. And so we're just kind of trying to pound in a whole bunch of fun things while she's still here. So we went on a yarn crawl, and my thought process when I went was, like, I really do love supporting local yarn shops. So I kind of wanted to buy something, you know, at each store, even if it was just something small. And then, but I always need to have a project in mind for it, or I don't want to buy it. That project can change, it's totally fine, but if I'm gonna buy yarn, I want to know what I'm going to make with it, whether it's a pair of socks for this person, or a hat for this person, or a t-shirt, get enough to make a t-shirt or whatever. I just want to have something in mind. So we went to the first yarn shop that we went to was Castaway in Santa Rosa, California. And I got the Yin Yang Loop Fiber Studio yarn. I got it, it's a worsted weight in Beyond is the colorway. So if you guys have not seen this yarn before, each one of her colorways comes in an opposite. So there's another colorway that is mostly orange that has the single strand of the cream in it as well. But my stepmom bought enough to make a sweater out of. This is a yarn that I've been looking at for a long time, and it was the only thing that like really caught my eye at that yarn store that I could find something in mind for. That, and I did actually buy some, I wonder if it's in here. Yeah, I did. Actually, I made a separate purchase for some, I think it's Eucalyptus. Yeah, and I think it's their Jasmine colorway. This is my favorite. And they do like refills, so it's like a no waste kind of thing. So I bought these two things, but I'm gonna make a hat out of it. I just really like this color. I think it's so fun. I've been wanting to try this yarn, so I just felt like it was a good opportunity to do so. So that's what I bought at Castaway in Santa Rosa. Okay, then we went to the Fiber Circle studio, and we totally lucked out because they were having a sidewalk sale, and it was kind of like a consignment. Like people would bring their leftover skeins or skeins that they purchased but never used, and it was super discounted. So the yarn that I got there, it's crunchy. I'm sorry, you guys. So it was $8 a skein. I'm just gonna pull out two. In like this burnt orangey color, it is the Cotten. So it's like a worsted cotton. It's super soft. It's 100 grams, 232 yards. So I feel like that's kind of like a DK. Maybe like a heavy DK. Yeah, so I got 3 balls there, 100-gram balls, and I just thought I got enough to make a tank top with. I thought that would be really fun just to make a little tank top out of that. But they were $8 a piece. But then I didn't want to like leave the store empty-handed, even though like that went to a consignor, not necessarily to the store. Now the store may be making money off of that, but I don't know. But my friend was just telling me about these skein coats. I've not even opened it up. So I'm gonna open it up again. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. I'm so sorry. I just don't know if you guys can see through the plastic, like if it's glaring or not, but isn't that so cute? So these go around your cakes of yarn. I don't really know. Let's see. Let's try it out. Something like this, I guess. My guess is that there's an easier way to do this. I just don't know. So then basically you pull from the center of your cake. my friend was raving about these, so I just thought I would give it a try. And then you pull from the center and it just keeps everything nice and cozy. I think this kind of looks nice together, so I might just keep it just like this. But so it is a skein coat. I think that, I don't know who the maker or designer is, but it might be Skein Coats. Isn't that cute? Super cute. So I think that's just gonna stay there. I'm gonna try it out with that project. Okay, and then, so that one was Fiber Circle, and then we went to Noma Knits in Sonoma. And I kind of wonder if that's why it's called Noma, because it's Sonoma. I don't know. I have no idea. But there I purchased 4 skeins of Knitting for Olive Cotton Merino. It's a 50-gram skein, 250 meters. So it is definitely like a light fingering yarn, probably in between like a fingering and a lace color. It's in a light, it's a soft blue, I believe is the colorway. Soft blue. And this is what I am knitting the Wythia top in. I love the way that this feels, and I cannot wait to work through what I have, work down some of my stash, and repurchase more of this yarn. I love it. So I got 4 skeins of this for my Wythia. All right, so that was our yarn crawl. And then last weekend, just in like our backyard, we had a, not literally in my backyard, but it's like 10 minutes away on county roads. And it was the Fiber Festival. They normally do it like weaving at the winery kind of thing out in Livermore, but I believe with all the COVID chaos stuff, they just, they hadn't had it. And then when they went to go back and book at the winery was booked solid with all the weddings that have been waiting to happen. So they found the venue. It's this outdoor venue in Vacaville, California, and which is very close to me. Like I can literally just take back roads all the way there, which is really fun. And so they did this outdoor fiber festival, and it is heavy on the weaving aspect of the fiber, but there was definitely a lot of yarn, lots of fiber, fleeces, weaving. Like so many people had their spinning wheels out. They had electric spinning wheels. It was amazing. It was like a really, really fun event. Good coffee out there, yummy pastries, so much fun. I cannot wait till next year. And I was talking with one of the ladies that organizes this event, and because I really wanted to be a vendor for my for Back Porch Fiber Co. And she had mentioned that they wanted to get me in there this year, but they just didn't have the space, and it was a new event, so they just wanted to keep it smaller this year, but that they want me next year. So I'm really excited about that, to have that connection too. So that was a lot of fun. But so I wanted to see what I found there and support some local yarn dyers and local yarn companies. So I got this yarn here from Sincere Sheep, and it's kind of like this warm, dusty lilac kind of color. It's called Old Growth. So there's definitely a lot of warm brown color in this, but definitely a like lilac lavender color as well. And this one, I forget the name of the tea. I'll put it down here. I'll put a picture of it in here as well, but it's from the Bluebird Knits, Bluebird, I think. I'll put it all down. I'm so sorry, you guys. But it is this gorgeous tank top with some like beautiful detail work kind of coming right up the center and out. Super excited to do that. So this is a sport weight. It's a Cormo Sport. And that's another reason, that's something else I want to mention. I really wanted to try a different type of yarn. I knit with so much superwash and cotton yarn. I just wanted to try something different. And so this dyer had a lot of cormo. And so it's made here in the US as well, in Wyoming. But it's a heftier skein. It's about 115 grams, 400 yards. So it's a sport weight yarn. But I'm super excited to do that. And I think I'm gonna have a lot left over, so I might just have to whip out a pair of maybe like house socks or something that isn't gonna get a lot of wear and tear because there's no nylon in it. But yeah, pretty excited about that. Okay, so I bought these yarns, and then my friend goes and shops at the same place, and she comes back and she's like, oh, and in their half price bin, da 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 da, I got this and this and this. And I'm like, half price bin? I didn't see that. So I go back to this Too Sincere sheet, and she has 3 half price bins. Now when my friend went, there was only 1. She goes, oh, I'm sorry, I'm still just, getting everything out. And like, hey, no worries. So I start looking through this half price bin. I'm a sucker, man. I am a sucker. So I got this here. This is merino. It's 70% domestic merino and silk. And this one doesn't have a ball band, but that's okay because this one over here does. But it's a fingering weight yarn, and this is the combo that I'm going to use. I'm going to do a striped tee, and I'll put the name and picture in here as well. But I just thought like this would be such a fun t-shirt to do. Like, so it's this color here will be a thinner stripe than these guys here. That's why I just got one. I don't even know if I'm going to need all 3 of these, but I just thought better to play it safe than sorry. And it was all half price. It was so cheap. So, and it has silk in it. But it was a base that she can no longer get. But like, look at the texture of this yarn. It is so fun. So fun. And it's 500 yards at like 115 grams, I think. I cannot wait to cast this on. You guys, I have so many t-shirt projects that I want to do. It's crazy. So that's what I got. I also got a summer sock camp sticker. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put it yet, which is why it's not on something yet, but I have that. And then one more thing, you guys all know that I belong to the Heidi and Lana Patreon tier, where you get a mini and a stitch marker, and this was the May colorway. Isn't that pretty? And I'm making the alignment throw with this, and I have not made any progress since we chatted last because I work on that project when we are reading out loud and we're out of school now. So I might need to find a different time to work on that. But then also it comes with one of her little famous stitch markers, which is right there. So I love these little stitch markers. They're so fun. Yeah, so that is all my acquisitions. I already have this guy cast on. I already have plans for this one here. And I'm already thinking about when we go to Hawaii coming up, what I'll be bringing with me there. And I think I might bring the Waithia. I don't think I'm gonna have that one finished yet. So I think I'm gonna bring the Waithia, and I think I'll bring a pair of socks with me, and that'll probably be it. Because while I think that I should bring 3 or 4 projects, I probably don't need 3 or 4 projects. The Waithia will be at a point where it's just probably going to be stockinette, and then I'll probably bring just a stockinette pair of socks. I may need to switch over to 9-inch circulars just for the airplane and for ease. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But that is it. Thanks for sticking with me and the jumble and the multiple day filming and everything. And like, you will have seen a lot of footage of over the last couple weeks, and I'll put some more here at the end. But hope that you guys are having a fantastic summer and you guys are getting a lot of knitting in. If you are not part of the summer sock camp and you love to knit socks, or you want to try to knit socks, I highly recommend checking out the Crazy Sock Lady Summer Sock Camp knit along. It's super easy. She kept it so low key, which I've mentioned, but definitely check that out. It's just fun. It's fun to also see what other people are making. So follow the hashtag as well, because then if you're on Instagram, those hashtags, when people post, will pop up in your feed so that you can then see what other people are making through the summer sock camp as well. So that is all, you guys. Thank you again for sticking with me. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so below. It really does help me out. Go check out my Etsy shop and see if there's any fun goodies that you guys want. I do still have a few of the Spring Fling sale items up in the shop, and I have a few of the wooden notions tray up in the shop as well. So check those out, and I have new stuff coming all the time. So until next time, you guys, bye.